Why do you think singing is so scary for so many people?
Singing can be like having surgery in front of a crowd. You can't hide your feelings when you sing. My first official job was for Whitney Houston's Christmas album.
That was your first job?
That was my first session. Ooh, yeah.
I think Mickey's my favorite. Huh? Wouldn't you say, Pluto? Huh?
When Selena came over and posted me on Instagram, that definitely changed my career. And then after that, I started working at The Voice for 16 seasons while building my vocal coaching business, coaching Lenny Kravitz, Jennifer Lopez, Kelly Rowland.
That's crazy.
Chris can do a lot of things. You think you know a Coldplay sound, but Chris will get on the piano and start playing jazz.
Why do you think people had such a strong reaction to those moments from Fergie?
For hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, music was congregational, and it wasn't about the best singer. But when the gramophone was invented, it all became about the best singer. What Billie Eilish is doing now, that started with Bing Crosby. The first intimate voice many people ever heard. It caused divorces. The craziest part of the Super Bowl is making sure everything's timed so perfectly.
Yeah.
Every single second costs and counts.
Do you think anyone can become a great singer?
Now you're asking the tough questions.
So excited today. Welcome back to Behind the Wall. We have one of the best singers in the world, as well as one of the best vocal coaches in the world, and also one of the people who really helped me a ton. One of the first people to say, "Hey, Daniel, I want you to come to LA. I believe in you," when no one really did. So it means the world because I get to chat with the one, the only, Stevie Mackey.
What's up? Oh man, that was the greatest intro.
Thank you so much for being a part of this.
You're welcome.
When I started this series, the goal was to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. And I'm so excited to chat with you specifically because I think you have such an incredible story. You've worked with so many incredible people, and you also have an incredible talent that I think people need to know about. And that's not just singing, but I think that's also like telling stories through your voice. And I think something I've learned just from talking to you, from talking to these artists, that the voice is such a unique expression and expressing tool, and how you sound doesn't matter as much as what you're trying to communicate through that.
Right.
And I think that's very, very interesting. But for anyone who may not know who you are, who are some of the artists that you've had the chance to work with?
I've worked with, let's go back to the beginning of my professional career. I started vocal coaching friends of mine, just friends that told me this is what I did. They said, we need you to teach us. We need you to do this. And it started out with the first well-known artist I worked with. Her name is JoJo, and she's an incredible singer, and she believed in me. And she sought me out from somewhere, and I remember being so nervous to meet her because I just love her voice. And she came here in my house, and we just started working. And then she told her other friend, and next thing you know, Selena Gomez. And then Selena has such a huge following online that completely changed, my career. It was when Selena came over and posted me on Instagram, I think. And I didn't think much of Instagram. I didn't think much of Instagram or social media as far as work goes back then because it was so new, but that definitely changed my career. And so many people discovered me that way. And then after that, it was, I started working at The Voice, and I sang in the band at The Voice for 16 seasons, for 8 years of my life. It was
crazy.
Incredible while building my vocal coaching business. And also coaching Lenny Kravitz, Jennifer Lopez, Kelly Rowland, and actors from Channing Tatum to Kerry Washington to Taraji P. Henson.
That's crazy. I didn't know about those.
I love coaching actors.
What do you do when you coach actors? Is it different than coaching singers?
It is a little different. It is different because many times in singing, when I'm coaching artists, you're trying to find your voice. And when you're an actor, you're trying to find the voice of the person you're playing. And even though it all comes from you, the stories are different. you have to tell a different story. And so sometimes you have to leave yourself to become better than yourself. And I truly believe that. So sometimes getting out of your own self and becoming something else can stretch you in a way that you never realized you could grow. And so when I work with actors, they're like, I need to sound like this character. And they're starting to find this sound, and it can be gritty and weird or pretty. And it can be a variety of different things, but you're trying to create a character that can connect. And with an artist, you're trying to get the connection from the person that's inside. And so there are similarities, though. A lot of artists change their names to become characters.
Very true.
And, to become more brave or more sexy. You know, like a Lady Gaga or Sasha Fierce or Bruno Mars or, even Stevie Wonder. And so many artists give themselves names because it helps you with your identity and makes you brave.
Yeah. Allows you to express yourself in a new way.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Now, I want to go over everyone you just said, but what I did want to start off with is you got into vocal coaching, but before that, you did something in a similar realm, but very different. You were kind of a background singer, is that right?
Yes.
And you also were like the background singer for some of the most iconic singers ever, right?
Yeah, ever.
That's insane.
It's incredible. And I actually wanted to be a background singer most of my life. As soon as I saw people doing it, I wanted to do it. And the interesting part is I grew up watching my parents do it. They sang, they still sing to this day. They sing together, they sang in groups. And they sang in a lot of a cappella groups, and they would always be singing with their friends. And that's something I like to do to this very day. So I saw it growing up. I loved the people behind the artist. They were the most interesting people I know. They were the most interesting people to me because the artist would sometimes, come and go or have highs and lows, but the people in the background would always be there. And they looked like they were having the most fun. They could travel the world. The pressure wasn't on them to have the next hit. They were just singing with their friends, and they got to harmonize. And I love chords and I love harmonizing. So that was the gold to me. If I can find some friends and sing background, that was the highest you can go in life. and I love it to this day. I love it to this day. So I did start off by singing background. My first official job doing background was for Whitney Houston's Christmas album.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I got an email and a call from the founder of Take Six, Mervyn Warren, and he said, "How well is your sight reading?" And I was like, "Great." I just come out of college. I can kind of sight read. It was all right. But, you just say yes, and you put yourself in the situation. I don't know how good I did, but I got to go to a real session, and it was for Whitney Houston.
That was your first job?
That was my first session.
That's incredible.
My very first real session, like that I got paid. I got paid from an official check with a name, it's Entertainment Partners or something. And so I didn't realize you could really get paid. I grew up singing for free in church. You just got to sing. It's time to sing. Get up and sing. Nobody cares about anything. I'll just sing. So that's the best preparation. But to be invited to a session where I'm sight reading and there's so much order and respect for the artist and for what you're doing in the arrangement, it was absolutely mind-blowing for me as a 19 or maybe 20, I was around 20, 21 maybe. I don't remember. I was very young.
That's crazy. Was that nerve-wracking?
The excitement outweighed the fear.
Okay.
Like it should. You got to love it more than you fear it. I think you'll always be nervous. You'll always be scared. But you got to love music more than you fear it, and I definitely do. So I don't remember being scared. I remember being excited and celebrating and driving home so happy and singing in the car and going to get food and pizza and stuff. I was so excited.
So you did that quite a lot, right? You did that.
I did. Layla Hathaway, The Voice allowed me to sing background for every single person there. Wow. And when you sing background, you got to be everything. You got to sound like the artist, but you got to blend, and you got to sound like a different artist the next day. So I'd go from sounding like the Muppets to Dolly Parton to you know, Pearl Jam. And I sung background on The Voice for every single artist that came in. And me and my friends that did that, we had to change our voices all the time. So it was something I'd already liked to do. I like to be characters. I can sound like a lot of things. And I think really good singers are good listeners first. I think that's the talent you're born with, listening. Because no one's born singing and no one's born talking.
True.
It's all learned by mimicking and listening.
Yeah. One of your biggest teachers as like a vocal coach is about mimicking. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What is your process for mimicking, and what can a singer do to then learn to mimic?
I think the most important part of mimicking is learning how to listen better. It's not trying to be something else. It's because you'll always be you. You're you. All the sounds you make, even if you think you're sounding like something else, is coming from your apparatus, from your body and your muscles. So you are a collection of everything you've ever heard. That's why you say the words you say. That's why you like the songs you like. It's all connected to memories and mimicking. So mimicking is interesting because you're basically like a parrot. You're listening to different sounds and you can recreate them. I always could create beeps and noises and sounds and dings and dongs, and I could sound like anything, and I loved trying to sound like anything. But it's important for singing because if you mimic the good singers, you're already ahead of everyone else. Just the first rule of singing is to make sounds like a singer. Make sounds like a singer and learn to be a good storyteller. But a lot of times stories don't even have to have words.
That's interesting.
So I wouldn't even focus on the words. Everyone does, but learn how to tell a story beyond words.
And how does one do that?
I mean, reference Ella Fitzgerald for one.
Yeah.
You know, Ella sang the good songs, but she also made them her own by scatting. She would add other words and other terms and noises that didn't make any sense at all. And that's totally fine. The idea of singing doesn't have to make sense. It's not necessary for anyone. No one has to sing. You can say everything you want to say to someone. So the idea of singing is beyond practical. It surpasses logic. And that's why I think it's spiritual. It's an additional gift that we were given as humans. And it's something that we should enjoy and use for all the emotions in life. We're the storytellers of life, of what happens. So it's not a necessary thing. It's not a logical thing. Just learn how to listen, make noises, tell your story, whatever that is.
It seems like music and singing came very natural to you from a very young age. Is that right?
Yeah. It was the easiest thing I can do.
When it comes to some of the people you work with, may not come as easy to them.
Right.
What do you do to help them find their voice?
What do I do to help people find their voice? You know, sometimes I take them out of themselves.
Interesting.
If they're overthinkers, I try to get them to not think so hard and not think about themselves so much. So I'll change their character in a way. I'll put sunglasses on them and maybe a cape, and just say like walk around like you're the queen. All right, now try to walk around like you're this. I totally give them a character to be, and then they're not thinking about themselves so much, and then they can be something else. And sometimes you're not afraid of criticism when you're something else, but you're afraid for someone to see you.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I learned a lot through puppets. I had puppets as a kid. I was a very quiet kid, an introvert, and I had puppets, and I remember playing with the puppets, and the puppets could sing, but as Stevie, I still wouldn't be brave enough to sing. But the puppets sang, and I actually was learning myself through a character. And if the puppet messed up, it wasn't my fault. So I think of it like that. It's an extension of yourself, but it's a lot less stressful because you don't have to live as that person all the time. That's one way to do it, Another way is just something in life can happen and all of a sudden you really want to sing. Something just happens. It can just hit you one day. You feel like this is the time. And if you're ready at that point, you'll do it, no matter how scary it is.
Why do you think singing is so scary for so many people?
Singing can be like having surgery in front of a crowd.
Interesting.
You can't hide your feelings when you sing. You can go to work at most jobs and hide your feelings behind a desk. You can hold it all in. You can lock your emotions in a garage and do a lot of jobs on this earth. But as a singer, I have to have my emotions on a little belt right around here like a painter. Happiness, sadness, joy, peace, love, all right here. And if I get shaken, those can spill out. And that's why singers can be dramatic and so extra. And, why are singers so dramatic? Because we have to wear all of our feelings right here. And at the drop of a dime, I have to be able to make you feel like I'm in love, and make you feel like I'm going through a breakup, or make you feel like we need to change the world.
True.
So I have to be able to access all of my emotions at all times. That's very important. So you cannot lock your feelings away when you're a singer. You have to have them on hand.
How did you end up as a vocal coach, going from a background singer?
I don't know. I don't know. I ask God that all the time. I want to do a lot of things, but I love teaching so much. I just think of myself as a natural teacher. I come from a family of teachers and preachers. My mom was a teacher, so she's retired now. Mm-hmm. So my family has a lot of teachers, and my dad being a physical therapist, it kind of merged those two worlds. I always knew about the muscles, and he taught me about the muscles and recovery. And so I understood how the body worked, and I understood how to break something down to make it simple. So those two things combined was the perfect storm for becoming a vocal coach. And I've been a singer since I was very young. I don't know how I professionally became a coach. I just told myself, if I wanted, I'm from LA, and I saw a lot of people come here to do things. And if I wanted to do something, I had to be specific. LA works best when you're specific. I'm the photographer that takes pictures of little dogs in clothes. I'm the one that does this. Like, you have to kind of be a thing. And I said, I'm going to decide to be something. And I'm going to decide to be a vocal coach. And I decided it. I started a business. I scheduled voice lessons. And I knew theory. I knew opera. I went to school for it. I have my degree in it. I understand it. But I wanted to be something new. I wanted to teach pop and soul music. I wanted to teach our American style of music.
Usually people don't.
I knew I'd stand out that way. And I wanted to teach regular singing. Singing that you just sing. Just get up and sing. How do you just sound better as a normal person? I knew that would be special enough. I don't even know if I was in my right mind. I just said I'm going to do it because I had to make rent.
Yeah.
I knew I had to make money, and I didn't want to go to a regular job. I got fired from jobs.
What were some of the jobs you worked?
Oh, gosh. I worked at Banana Republic. That was like my first real job. I wasn't great. I'm not good at selling stuff. I don't care if you buy it or not. I really don't care. I don't care. And then I worked for a television station, a Christian TV station. Also wasn't great. I was listening to music all day. And my boss fired me and said, you're supposed to be in music. Go do that. You're supposed to be doing that. And I thanked him for it later. And he saw something in me that I don't know if I was brave to see in myself. And so life will push you in the way you're supposed to go. And that's why when I met you, I told you, like, this is you. This is like, I kind of tried to be a little bumper and tell you, this is the way you're supposed to go. This is your brilliance. This is your genius. I try to do that for other people. They can decide for themselves. But sometimes other people are the best way you know your talents. You don't always know. You need someone to tell you sometime. This is whatever people ask you to do a lot, that's what your gift is. And don't do it for free. It's that simple and that complicated at the same time. I tried to do a lot of things, and people just asked me to teach them how to sing over and over. Get my group to harmonize. Get us to blend together. Help me hit the high notes. over and over until I was making my rent and I can pay it. And it was an incredible thing. I was like, okay, let's build a business here. Let's have parties. Let's, how do we get business? I was a very young coach. I had to do something.
Do you think anyone can become a great singer?
Now you're saying, now you're asking the tough questions. I don't think singing's for everyone. I don't think so. There are some people that are not supposed to sing. But I lean towards a lot more people singing than someone would guess. I think more people should sing. I think a lot of people could be great singers. They've lived interesting lives. They have stories to tell. No one cares how perfect you are. But if you know how to connect with someone really well and put some notes on top of that, you could be a great singer.
You talked about like the 4 most important things, or for singing.
Yes.
Pitch, volume, tone. I'm trying to remember the 4th one.
Oh, come on. You got them.
I had it.
The other one's tricky.
I had it written down.
The other one's
air.
Vibrato. Tone is air.
Okay.
Air, I would consider. But this is something I've totally made up. I've never read it or was taught it. But I just think making everything simple makes everything more commercialized, more acceptable, more understood. I want people to understand what singing is and what it's not. And so with 4 things, the voice can only do four things. That's what I've concluded in my teaching.
Yeah.
You can get loud, you can get soft. That's your volume. You can sing high, you can sing low. That's your pitch. You can add air to your voice, you can take it away. That's tone, the quality of the sound. And you can add vibrato, and you can take vibrato away and make a smooth tone. So those are the 4 primary colors that you're working with. And with those 4 colors, you have to create a masterpiece. And it's up to you how you're going to create the masterpiece. So strengthen those 4 pillars of singing, and you can tell more stories. It's not necessary to have vibrato. It's not necessary to hit high notes to be a great singer, but you have more options.
When you first started background singing, was that a lucrative thing?
When I first started, I got lucky. Yeah, I made money background singing because I was in LA and I could sight read. So that's something that I would recommend people learn to do. It's antique, and it's still in the business. I learned how to sight read, and I also learned how to read numbers. And for people who are unfamiliar, numbers are just the scale put to numbers. If you have a major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 7. So I can go somewhere over the rainbow, 1, 8, 7. You just kind of.
Is that what you do to teach like runs or riffs too?
Yeah, you can put numbers to them. And if songs change key, you're not changing the notes. You're just changing the numbers. And I deal with key changes a lot with different singers, and the numbers always stay the same. And if you're singing in harmony, I can say, I'm on the 5, you're on the 3. And I'll write it down. I'm singing the 3rd. That means the 3rd note up from the root. And the root is 1. And the root is generally the note you can sing all through the song or sing the scale of in the song. It's easy. It's really easy to me, and I can teach it, and it's easy, and it goes. But I think I forgot what you asked. But yeah, I love learning the theory of it, and I got a lot of jobs. That's what you said. I got a lot of work because I knew theory, and I knew soul. I grew up singing gospel in church, and I could sing opera and pop music, and it took me a minute to get used to pop music and take my vibrato out sometime. And
is there a big difference between pop music and soul and R&B?
Pop music has been many genres over the years.
True.
So it's hard to say what the population agrees upon is popular, or but pop music in general is more simplified than other specific genres. it's usually for the regular person who may not be musical or may not be a singer or care much about music. It's the song that reaches them. It's the song that touches them. And usually the songs are more audible and have less chords and have less difficulty to listen to.
They're usually very catchy.
Very catchy. And so that's generally where pop music is today. But at one point, jazz was very popular.
True.
So it's something that as soon as I tell you a rule of singing, I can also tell you a point in history where it was broken. So there are no rules. Music is so interesting to me, and popular music has totally changed over the years.
You talked earlier about how Selena Gomez was one of like the big people who kind of helped solidify your career and help you in a way. There was a lot over the years. Her as a singer has gotten a lot of mixed reactions from people. What did you do with her when she first came to you?
She's so incredible. She's such a strong person, and I mean, she came over here to sing. The first time we worked together, she came over here, and we actually just sang. We didn't even talk a lot about, we talked through singing. We sang some songs that we agreed upon that we both liked. Maybe Kareem Bailey Ray, and usually something kind of jazzy, and it was something really cool, and it just blew me away. It blew me away because of her storytelling.
Yeah.
And her gorgeous voice. She has a really beautiful voice. And I was just like, okay, yes, the world needs to hear this. And, she had a great team, writing team, production team, and we just all worked together. And she just needed the confidence to do it. And she already had the talent. And so...
What did you do to help her build her confidence then?
I don't know if I could take credit for that. I just do my part, which is just, I would say confidence comes from competence. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Competence is knowing your voice, knowing your range, knowing the song, knowing the words. The competence turns into confidence, and you cannot skip that step, because then if you just have a bunch of puffed up confidence, that can be arrogance. So you need, the competence is just knowing. So I think I just build confidence in people by building the facts. Okay, here's your range. This is what you can do. Push these notes. It worked. You're still alive. Your brain lets you do it. It's not that scary. You're just singing, it's just the facts. And so I like to build people's confidence primarily through their competence. Mm. So I always start with what's just warm-ups and scales and things. You start seeing what's there.
And numbers.
Huh?
And numbers.
Yeah, numbers. Yeah. It's confusing.
Yeah. As you were saying, super talented and incredible storyteller, been through so much. What did working with her do for you in your career?
That's a good question. I feel it did so many things for me, but I'm trying to focus on something specific. I think it made me understand people more overall and listeners. Understanding how important connection is in singing. When you have every little girl connected to you as a singer, there's some magic there. Mm-hmm. They're listening to you, and that's so important. And that's something that I cannot teach. And that's when I start learning.
Wow.
Learn from everybody else. I'm watching this connection happen, and it's like, this is so powerful. I can learn from that,
Who are some of your favorite singers you've worked with?
I would say my favorite singers I've worked with are generally my favorite people. And just, just my favorite people to hang with. Like I look at my friends, I look at, you know, I mean, I wouldn't even call it working with them. Like the people I sing with all the time, my friends. I think of Avery Wilson, one of the greatest singers on earth. He's just seriously has a voice from another world. He's so insane. And we're such close friends. And he's just a great person. So we end up playing around a lot and singing. Think of Amber Riley, one of the greatest singers.
Yeah.
You know, star of Glee.
Yeah.
She's absolutely incredible and has this voice that could just, it immediately touches your soul. Immediately. You know, it just pierces you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I also think like of fun, people like Taraji P. Henson is so much fun. We had so much fun preparing for Color Purple. She's such a character, and we'd come over with a new song every day, and we'd build it up, and she's just so lively. Mm. She's so lively. She's full of life. You know?
Yeah. I think we're seeing also a push towards like the mainstream accepting Broadway more and more now, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's music changes and it goes through phases. And from let's say 2005, 2010, like that era to now, I'm very proud of what's happened overall.
Yeah.
You know, we got so excited with computers for a while. We're like, whoa, computers. And it's like, look what it could do. And then the beats and the song, the auto-tune, it's very, you know what I'm saying? So
it's a lot.
Yeah, it could be that. You know, we've kind of become, we're good on computers. We crave being organic as humans, naturally.
Yeah.
So the pendulum kind of swings around. It's like, okay, we know you can be perfect. We know all the notes can be there. We know it can be perfectly on time on the beat. But the human aspect, the soul, what a machine cannot do, that's what I define soul as in music. It's what a machine cannot do.
Yeah, I've heard you say that you can teach soul. Maybe they don't necessarily feel it, but like you can teach someone how to sing it. Is that right?
You can, it's interesting. You can't teach feeling, but you can teach the product. Why did this feel like feeling? Why did someone cry? It doesn't even mean that you've been through it. The great singers know how to make you feel like they're going through a breakup when they're not. The great singers know how to make you feel like they're in love when they're not. When I think of Whitney, when I think of Adele, Celine, you know, the divas, the singers, Patti LaBelle, Aretha, you go down the list, you know, Michael, you know, Luther, these singers,
Freddie.
You know, Steve Perry, they sing with everything in them. They can make you feel any emotion. Doesn't mean they're even feeling it that day. They might just be hungry, ready to just cut the song, go eat. You know, it's honestly, a good singer can make you feel anything, just like a good actor.
Yeah.
So I know what happened in the sound to create the feeling. That's what I have to do. What made people feel emotional? Maybe the cracking and air in her voice. Maybe the dip before you hit the note that almost didn't make it in the pitch, you know? Maybe just cutting off the word and speaking it instead of singing it.
And singing around the note.
Yeah, giving it a pitch center, singing it around the note.
Yeah.
There's so many little elements that come into play when telling a story. That's the human part of it, and that can be a technical thing. But I cannot teach you what to feel. I can tell you if what you're emoting is working and what to do to make it work. So it's an interesting thing. You have soul. Everybody has soul. And soul exists in different areas outside of singing. You can be a soulful, you know, anything. You can do anything with the feeling of, am I going to follow all the rules? Which rules can I break and bend? What is the future of this? You know, thinking creatively digs into your humanity and comes from soul. Mm-hmm. Be a soulful dress designer. You know, how did you do that? I just felt something in my spirit that said, break the rules. Okay, that's great. That's not conforming. So it exists. It's part of our humanity. But again, in singing, so much of singing comes out of you. You can't hide any part of you. So we equate soul with singing.
would you say that the singers, in order to feel that way, go back? Are you like in Harry Potter, for example, you know, when they're trying to think of like a really great memory to cast Expecto Patronum, they have to think of like the happiest memory, you know what I'm talking about? Is
Yes.
that kind of what happens with singing?
That's exactly what happens. You have to come from a place. Whenever you're telling a story, you go to a place. Where are you? Singing is a bunch of memories. What are you trying to make people feel? I go straight to Christmas, to my grandparents when I'm singing Christmas music. I'm thinking about that the whole time I'm singing the Christmas song. And you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it. It shows up. It is magical. It's amazing. You can feel the warmth in someone's voice when they're talking about love and they've experienced it. You can feel it. You can feel it. It's a very interesting thing. It's an oxymoron. It's technical, but it's soulful. It's soul and science. And I think of myself as a scientist many times, just as much as I am a creator.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you feel you're a scientist?
Because I have to know how it works. And to know how it works, you have to break it down and know what it is. And I can tell you what singing is, how it works, how to put it together, and how to take it apart.
Interesting.
And so it is a science to me. And
is it the tone, pitch, vol? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
You're like the larynx. And
I study people as much as I study music. Mm-hmm. I don't just study music. I study people. You have to learn about people, what they think it is. It's what people think it is. Many times, they're the judge. Why did this group feel it? Why did that? You take a poll and you go by margins, and I break it down. And I like making a science of it. And that only goes so far. There's a soul to it too. So I like both. I see them both as worthy pillars of importance in music, the science of it and the soul.
What habits do you think every singer has in order to sustain like a longevity and like a long lasting career?
Oh. I think there's different answers to that, Daniel. Some people say it's staying the same and being yourself. Some people say it's changing. But let's look at painters, for example, and artists. I think it's very similar. When you look at Leonardo da Vinci, one of the greatest minds of our existence, he did so many things. And through his life, he painted differently, he created differently, he drew differently, and you can see the trajectory of a genius life right there. So you see change, but you also see patterns. Patterns are similar, but the ideas keep evolving and changing. So I would apply that to music and say the pattern of good music is dynamics. Expression, storytelling, melodies, good melodies that are interesting, sometimes familiar, sometimes not, because the ear likes two different things. We like to hear what we expect, but at the same time, it has to be different enough for us to pay attention. So you satisfy the ear sometime, go to a note that satisfies your ear. Okay, I kind of expected that note. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece as white as snow. You expect that note.
Yeah.
Everyone does. But if I go, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Oh, I kind of went somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you can give the ear something different.
It stands out.
Yeah, so you need both for it to work. So an artist needs to do both. Please someone and be different at the same time. And it's sometimes contradictory, but you have to be good just to remain the same. It takes hard work just to remain the same in this business.
Did runs and riffs come very easy to you? Like, was it just like out the gate, like could do it right away, or is that something you had to practice?
It did come easy to me because my parents played gospel growing up, and a lot of that comes from church.
Okay.
A lot of that comes from down through history, pianists and organists and the instruments that were in churches. usually pianos and organs. And, you know, you have a break in history where a lot of jazz musicians who played horns went to the clubs and they played in the clubs. And that's where scatting got its start. You're mimicking horns. You know, you're sounding like a horn. Mm-hmm. But in church, it was, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the organ would do it, you know, and that is a different feeling than
like a saxophone. Yeah.
It's different than what was happening in I'm talking about the 1930s.
Okay.
You know, when jazz was so popular, and then you kind of have a break. Blues is like the grandfather. You break into jazz and gospel. And runs came out of the church. And there was a clear line back then, by the way. You were a church singer or you sang secular music. There was a delineation. And so you have, for example, Ella Fitzgerald on one hand, killing it over here in jazz. And then you have Mahalia Jackson on the other hand, singing in church. And then she sings Precious Lord, Take My Hand, and Elvis hears it and is like, oh, I want to sing it like that. And he actually sings it a lot like her. And so you have the roots of rock and roll in gospel.
Wow.
In church, Little Richard.
Yeah.
Church boy, you know. So you have the roots of rock and roll firmly grounded in what was called race music at one time and became rhythm and blues. And so it put rhythm to blues, literally. So you have a lot of American music comes from church. A lot of our music. What we do today, what we know as pop, elements of it came from church. So that's where the riffs and the runs came from. It was a decoration. It was a emphasis. It was like, yeah, you know I meant that. You know, that's what you're saying if you had to put words to it. It's like, I love you, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
I learned a lot from Whitney and from Aretha and that kind of thing. So it comes out of church, and that's a staple now in American music. You hear Ariana Grande do it. You're like, you know, Cynthia, they both do it now. And it's so cool to hear what I grew up on in gospel music come to the forefront of popular music, navigating a lot of different people, you know, from Aretha to Whitney to
Mariah.
You know, yeah, Mariah, Selena. You see it, just the trail of it coming. Christina Aguilera, you see the people who really love it, they do it. Mm-hmm. You know, Stevie Wonder played a huge part in that.
Yes.
He's a pianist. He sounds like a pianist sometimes. But he sounds like a human. He doesn't sound like the piano. He sounds like a human complementing the piano. He's so genius. And his movements, you know, changed the whole genre, the whole world of music. You know, every singer after him was different. Every singer after Whitney was different. It changed. And it all started with, you know, when we were able to record ourselves in microphones and be more detailed and not just yell at an audience of people from a stage. We could be more intimate. And so that all happened in the turn of the century, really. Late 1800s, 1900s with the gramophone. That's where American music really got its start.
Especially like being able to play what you were saying, recordings of music, like changed the entire music industry.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
Nobody listened to music alone.
Yeah. Everyone had to go out and hear it live if they wanted to hear anything.
It was incredible. The invention of the phonograph and the gramophone completely changed society. There was something called gramomania, which was the fear that people would just listen to music all day and forget about the realities of life. And you may enter a room and someone would be sitting there listening to music alone. And you'd think to yourself, are they crazy? Is there someone else in the room? No, music was congregational. For hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, music was congregational. Everyone sang together. You sang before battle. You sang at the pub, the bar. You sang at church. You sang in schools. You sang to open up something, to start something, to get on one accord. That's where that word comes from. To get on one accord, you unite yourselves by singing. And it wasn't about the best singer. But when the gramophone was invented, it all became about the best singer. Maybe only the greats will want to sing. The idea of perfectionism in recording was introduced.
Yeah.
No one cared if you messed up. in a live performance, but all of a sudden it'll be on a record, recorded into wax forever. So the idea of the perfect musician came around. And there was a big fear, of course, as technology goes. Everyone's scared of it. There's a big fear. Maybe people won't want to study music anymore in schools because they're not the very best. And it actually did the opposite. So many more people were introduced to music. It changed society. So many more people went to school for music after the popularization of the gramophone. It didn't take electricity. You can go on a picnic and listen to music. That was absolutely incredible, and people didn't know what to do with it. A lot of times marching bands recorded after the Civil War. That was new. And then people would do exercises on it and talk on it and tell jokes. But they realized how important it was to share music. And singers like Caruso was very smart. He recorded, and his tenor voice pierced right through in the range that was suited for recording on a gramophone. And it changed everything. He became a sensation around the world. And then you have one of the most popular artists to ever record Bing Crosby. He recorded so many songs, and it was so intimate. What we know as like what Billie Eilish is doing now, that started with Bing Crosby. The first intimate voice many people ever heard in their home. No one had ever, it caused divorces. Women had never felt the intimacy of another man in their home, and all of a sudden you're hearing Bing Crosby sing to you, "He must love you." It was so odd and different.
Wow, I didn't know that.
No, he couldn't even sing on a stage without a megaphone because, the microphone was so new. You couldn't hear him. So he took advantage of the microphone and started crooning. That's where the crooning became popular. And that changed everything. And that allowed singers to sing like this. And I can sing like this, and you can still hear me. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. He took the jazz timing that was very popular with Louis Armstrong. The jazz timing, before Louis Armstrong and Bing Crosby, everything was on time. But they took it and just gave it a swag, and they called it swinging. And so that started, and we know that, Frank Sinatra took that and ran with it. That's incredible. And just the idea of putting soul to music, bringing feeling to it, and recording smooth like that. That's what I mean by American singing. Singing that utilized technology like we always do. America is really good at that. We'll take technology and say, okay, let's try it this way. And we're innovators. And that's an incredible thing.
Yeah. It seems like we've gone back and forth between this like perfectionism and then like human, like going back and forth. Because like even back then you talked about how we're always on time, then we went into swinging, and then even we went with the introduction of the computer.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we go back and forth, and now I feel like there's this like hunger and want for imperfection, for being human.
Exactly.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting. I think we're impressed by machines, but we're also a little jaded by them.
Yeah.
We've seen the ups and downs now, after the rise of computers and technology, kind of took over our lives. We've seen, okay, we get it. All right, what do we really want? Humans, we're here with each other. We will always want human connection, and we better wake up and realize that. We need each other. We're put on this earth together. Just take one trip to space, and you'll see it's ridiculous how we treat each other sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Definitely.
And we are better than that. And it's time for us to realize that it sounds cliche, but we've really got to work it out. We've got to work it out. It doesn't make any sense. We're all in this little thing spinning around through space at the same time with each other. And we have all these different ideas, and we can't respect each other. And so I think music is one of the most powerful ways to bring us together. And at the same time, it's just music. We get to do music. I can mess up. That's the worst thing that could happen in music. That's incredible. But somehow it's the most powerful thing on earth.
You also aren't just like a vocal coach, a singer. You also seem to be a historian. When I chat with you, you study history.
I love history. I am a historian. I am a philosopher of life and music. I inherited that from my grandfather. He was an incredible historian. But I love history. That's how I know that we're going to be okay. That's how I'm not afraid of technology, because I study history enough to know all the things we were afraid of and how we learn as humans to just keep going. We learn how to cope. We learn how to take what's been invented and make it better and add our humanity to it. So that's the dichotomy of perfection, imperfection, humanism, robotics. We work together. And so I love the fact that history teaches us so much of what's in the past, but how do you know where things are going? You just go back, look forward, and try to say, oh, this happened, that happened. It helps you realize where things are going. Music will always go the way of technology. It just will. It has to. That gramophones and phonographs created the 3-4 minute song. Many classical composers had to shorten their pieces or break them up into movements because of that.
And now because of TikTok.
And now you see where I'm going with this. It's not new. It's this, the LPs, the EPs, the records, having space for it,
Singles,
the quality
iTunes,
of it.
like 99 cents
Exactly.
singles.
None of this is new. The idea that people want to scroll through and listen through, and all right, how do we change music to go with technology? We're listening on our phones. How do you change, what beats sound good on a phone?
Yeah.
Most people are listening on little phone speakers.
They can't have bass.
Right.
So,
There's a lot of things that are, the highs are important to keeping time. It's so interesting now, but music will go the way of technology. For better or for worse, but I always think it's for better. It's fine. We'll be fine. I have faith in us. We'll be fine. And I'm not scared of what, the future holds as far as creativity and music.
You've worked with so many different artists, J.Lo, Lenny Kravitz, Maroon 5, Amber Riley, you said earlier, Kelly Rowland, JoJo. Is every process working with a different artist different?
The process I have for working with different artists is everybody learns different.
Okay.
So, yeah, it is different. Everyone learns differently. And some people learn by being talked to and spoken to. Some people learn by doing. Some people learn by, in a group setting, they learn better. So it does vary. I'm one of those people. I am ADD, and I have to learn a certain way, and I have to write it down sometime. I have to rehearse it, rehear it. So I have learning issues myself. So I'm very sensitive to how people learn. I watch people, and I watch how information gets absorbed into them. Sometimes I just hang with people first and not sing at all. And I've done that with a lot of artists. I just watch them, we just hang out. And sometimes you just go into singing right away. Everyone's different. I remember meeting one of my best friends, Jennifer Lopez. She's an incredible artist. And when I first met her, we didn't sing at all. We actually just hung out and talked about life and probably went to go get food. And I was like, when are we going to start singing? She was like, just takes time, just let's go do this first. And it was interesting because it showed me the importance of a balanced relationship and a relationship where you're learning from each other. And trust, building trust with someone.
You've worked with Jennifer Lopez for years now.
Yeah.
How did that
just
start?
about 10 years. We met at the AMAs backstage. I was working at the AMAs, and I believe I was coaching Selena that day there, and I met her in her dressing room backstage, and she said, I've seen what you're doing, I've heard about you, and I want to become, she was planning her Vegas residency.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work. You have to start years in advance to start doing that. And I just remember the respect I had for her after meeting her and after realizing that she's the worker she is and how focused she is. And she has that magic. She has that thing that connects. And just, that was life-changing.
Yeah, you have both gone on to do so much separately and together. Super Bowl, so many different things.
I know.
What's one of your favorite memories working with her?
Well, she the song we did together, the most wonderful time of the year, our Christmas song, and how she didn't have to do that. You know, that was really awesome of her as a friend to do that and to jump on my Christmas album because she believed in me, and did the music video at the Grove.
Oh, that's sick.
All night we filmed a music video in the cold and in front of the Christmas tree, and that was so kind. You know, that was just a beautiful moment that I'll never forget. Really special to me.
There was a point in time where like one of the best performers. Was she another case of someone who like had the talent but needed to find the confidence when it came to like her voice? Because there was a huge like improvement when it came to like her like not only singing but like performing as a singer too.
Right. Absolutely. And she's she's always been a dancer. She's always been an entertainer.
Yeah.
And she's been dancing since she was, little.
Yeah.
And then, she's a hard worker. She outworks everyone around her. She blows up, from In Living Color to Selena, and then from Selena to music. And she gets into music and she's like, all right, she has these huge hits, top producers, huge hits.
Ryan Tedder.
Yeah, Ryan Tedder, Rodney Jerkins. You go down the list. It was, Red One, all of them.
Yeah,
it was,
shout out.
Yeah. But it was just, she's from the Bronx. She's from a mecca of hip hop anyway. And so that's her world. She grew up around it. And it's interesting to see her evolve, and artists should evolve. And at the point where I met her, she's like, all right, I'm ready to go to the next level. And I got to really be, tight on everything. And you watch them improve. You just watch them improve over time, and it's so satisfying. And that motivates me. I get my motivation from motivating others and motivating my friends. And that's where I find motivation. I don't wake up every day motivated. You might know. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, another day.
I'd rather sleep. I like to sleep. I like
Sleeping
dreaming.
is great.
It's the awake part of the day that requires most of my.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of work.
Figure it out. Yeah. Getting started, getting up and getting going. It's not always.
You find yourself
easy
like
for me.
a night owl or like.
Yeah, I do. I am a night owl.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, I need to hang around people way more motivated than me. So a lot of my friends are very solid. They get up and go. They push me.
That's great.
Over the last few years, I've sat down with some of the greatest minds in all of music, and they've told me stories and given me some of the best tips that changed my entire perspective on creating. And I'm looking to give that to you because I'm hoping that it can help you just as much as it helped me. My goal with Behind the Wall is to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. It's to inspire the next generation of creatives, but it's also to create the platform that I wish I had when I first started making music, when I first started being creative, when I first started making videos. Behind the Wall has taught me so much on this journey, and I want to take these lessons that I've learned and help the next generation. So I put together 15 of the most important and impactful lessons that I've learned on my own journey from these people directly, from some of the greatest minds in all of music. People like Chris Martin of Coldplay, Benny Blanco, Ryan Tedder, Julia Michaels, Amy Allen, Bonnie McKee, Savan Kotecha. So many of the greatest minds in all of music, people that I had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing. People like Ryan Tedder, who gave me one of the greatest pieces of advice that helped me on my own journey. People like Benny Blanco, who changed my entire perspective 6 years into making music. People like Marshmello, who taught me that as long as something sounds good to you, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And I'm looking to pass this knowledge on to you, which will be 15 lessons from the greatest minds in music, which will be in the description completely for free.
And now let's return to Behind the Wall. One of the things I find to be really fascinating is even singers who have accents tend to often sing in an American accent, but some of them don't. Some of them still sing in the like Bastille. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it is?
Okay, I get into arguments with my friends about this. So everyone has their own opinions, but I will tell you mine.
Okay.
I have a theory about singers and accents.
Okay.
I think singers don't have to have, let me say it right. I think really good listeners and singers don't have to have accents. I stand by it. I stand by it. I say the better listener you are, the less of an accent you have to have. Boy, I need to learn how to say this better. Okay. I find through history, singers from other countries can adjust their accent, just like actors.
Okay.
They learn how to speak, transatlantic. You have singers like Maria Callas and others through history who have this cool accent that they've developed. And in the 1940s, it was a transatlantic accent. It was darling, singing is like this. It's a little bit more like this. And I'd like to take a second to congratulate the people here tonight. And I'm going to be singing a few songs from my latest record that you probably all know. It put me on the map. And this is like this accent that actors had and singers had. So you can develop a sound of your own because you're choosing which ones to choose. When you think about your family, you can put on your accent. When you talk to them, you can put on an accent. You can take it away. And I think in the future, less people will have accents. And I think they're exposed to more types and varieties of speaking at a young age. So I see my niece and nephew, they have British accents sometimes because they watch Peppa Pig. I only had Sesame Street. So I talk like Sesame Street Muppets. And I also I have friends that are from other countries. I have friends that are brothers. They're both Austrian. One has a strong accent and one doesn't. And the one that doesn't have a strong accent is a singer. And it goes into my theory of singers don't have to have as much of an accent sometimes. So you can choose it, you can put it in if it's your style, but you can also take it away. Like you said, many singers don't have English accents, don't have British accents when they sing in American music.
Like Adele.
But many American singers add one. It's a thing. If you can be a whole different character when you're a singer.
Yeah.
That doesn't even have to apply to what you were raised around. You're such a good listener that you can put on a voice. And you could choose the character you're going to be. You can choose the voice you want to have. I can sound like this, like an announcer, like I'm talking on the news, or I can sound a little bit country like that. I can do different sounds too. I could sound like different things. If I'm around people, I kind of turn into an amalgamation of them, and I kind of just do it.
And you also mimic. Who's some of your favorite characters to mimic?
Yesterday I was mimicking Kermit the Frog. I love him. Hi y'all, this is Kermit the Frog, reporting live from Sesame Street. And then you have like Elmo.
Emma loves you so much, Daniel. Emma loves Stevie.
Elmo needs to warm up, but and then you have,
Elmo needs to warm up.
I think Mickey's my favorite. Wouldn't you say, Pluto? Oh, gosh. We're going to go to Disneyland tomorrow. Oh, boy.
Did you do that a lot as a kid? Is that where that came from?
yeah, all the time. All the time. There weren't as many cartoons to choose from. I only was, just a few, and you just made the sounds. All of them. I copied everything.
It's interesting because recently I got to chat with like very, very talented voice actor. And it's interesting like how similar it sometimes feels like voice acting is to singing, how you're describing it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, you see singers do. You see Ariana do it, change her voice, and
Yeah.
you see singers are able to do that, and it's fun, and it's a game to us. And everything has a pitch. Everything. I'm listening to the fan over there that's bothering me. It has a pitch. Everything, the fireplace, like everything has a sound. I turn off beeps. I unplug the doorbell and the water machine and cars that beep. I cut cords. If something beeps, it's not going to beep around me because it completely drives me crazy. So I can't have things dinging and beeping. People who make things always put way too many noises in them, dings and dongs. Just let my food rot, please, and don't beep from the refrigerator if I leave it open. I'd rather anything than a beep. Everything beeps now. The washing machine sings and beeps.
Do you have a phone alarm to wake you up in the morning?
Sometimes, but it's a song, not a. I never want that
What
noise.
song usually do you have?
Right now, it's "Smooth Operator" from Sade.
Yeah,
And,
that's a good one to wake up to.
Yeah, the one before that was the Cheers theme song. I love so much.
I love it. You have also one of my favorite artists ever is Coldplay.
Oh, yeah.
You got to perform with Chris on stage with Jacob Collier. I was there. I saw it.
Oh, wow,
That was
yeah.
sick. And then also, I saw that you were one of the people who sang on Higher Power.
Yes.
How was that?
Yeah. Magical.
Yeah.
Coldplay, they're some of the nicest people on the earth and most
Facts.
talented.
100%.
Chris is just like Jesus. He's so nice. He's
one of the
so
greatest people ever.
thoughtful and brilliant and genius.
Yeah.
And I believe if you're a genius, you're not just a musical genius. Your genius transcends. So I think I would just say genius. So he's just so intuitive and asks questions about life and loves people.
He's also probably a really great listener.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chris can do a lot of things. You think you know a Coldplay sound, but Chris will get on the piano and start playing jazz like Miles Davis, and then classical music like straight from
Yeah.
a hymnal, and then gospel. Like he's
so talented.
So
with the piano.
talented.
And his voice is incredible.
And, yeah. And so I've been singing with them, working with them over the last 5 or 6 years on different songs, different projects.
The new album too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of different songs and stuff. So just seeing how Chris works is magical, and he's literally just, he deserves every single thing he's ever gotten, and he's so sweet. Like, he's the nicest guy. And shout out to my friends that we sing with, Dorian, Denise, Nika, Kara, it's like a family of us that we have as singers, and we sing together and we put each other on to different things.
Amazing. So, for people who are out there watching right now who don't have access to a vocal coach, what can singers do out there to improve as singers?
I think nowadays there's more avenues to become a singer than ever.
Really?
Yeah. If you live in Chicken Switch, Oklahoma, you can find a way to get better in a way I didn't have when I was young. You can go read a book about it, or hopefully PBS will play a special about it.
Yeah.
But to have phones that have YouTube, that have TikTok, that have all these avenues of information is absolutely something I dreamed of when I was little. And I will not get off my phone, and I will stay on it every day to make up for the half of my life I didn't have one, to learn all the stuff I would have looked up as a kid. It's absolutely incredible. Polyphonic singing is becoming popular because of TikTok, and you have singers that can split their voice into different parts. Something I only knew Bobby McFerrin to do many years ago. And so
Legend.
you can split your voice into, and if more people hear that at 3 years old, 4 years old, the ones who can do it, and the possibility, the 5% who have the actual ability to do it, if 3% of them are watching, TikTok as kids, they're like, oh, I can do it. And they start doing it and trying it, then you have a 2% that actually improve on it by the time they're older. Like, I think of things in stats like that. If you don't know it exists, you sometimes won't do it. That's how styles change and singing changes. So the idea of getting better and finding other people that sing like you and sing like you want to sing, there's a whole community out there waiting for you. There's no excuse, and there's every single reason for singers to start singing right now. Now's the time. Thank God we're in 2025.
Yeah.
It's just, this is incredible. Wake up and see it. If you've been raised with this technology, you don't see the greatness in it sometime. But if you were raised in a time where you had to literally go to a library to find out information
About
and
singing.
you don't even know if that's right.
And you can't even hear like music from a book.
No, you can't.
It's crazy.
You can't. I just copied the music my parents played at home, and luckily they played good music. And now it's become individualized, and you can listen to whatever you like at any time. You don't have ownership all the time, but you have access. And that's what we've kind of exchanged, and it's the way things go.
It is interesting that you say it like that. You said in a very positive perspective on technology, and I think all these people are talking about how this next generation is going to be ruined by technology. But like the way that you said it right now, which was, I wish I had this technology when I was younger, because I wish I could have learned so much more from it. It's like, I think that's super interesting.
It's always the optimistic people that will change the world. Everyone else will be forgotten. It's the optimists. Benjamin Franklin's crazy for tampering with God's own power of electricity. Thomas Edison's crazy for trying to freeze light and sound and record it. And they're all called crazy.
Until it works.
They're all called crazy. I'd much rather that.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of us. I'm not afraid. I know who made us. I'm not afraid of us. I'm not afraid of what we are. I'm not afraid of what we can do. And we are little creators. That's what we're here to do. Please create. And it will be fine. I know my generation, generations are all scared of what's going to happen. The kids of the future are going to be fine for that time. And they're going to be, in fact, not just fine. They're going to fix problems that we have not fixed. We think we are so great and that everyone else will be trash because of technology. That's the wrong mindset. They're going to be able to fix and conquer things that we have not. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're suited for the world they're entering. They'll be fine.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll be fine, okay? That's just the bottom line. But I also encourage people to read. The only reason I'm fearless is because I read and I study and I research. Mm-hmm. I would be scared of everything if I didn't know anything.
What are some of your favorite books then?
Right now I'm reading Talent is Never Enough by John Maxwell. Absolutely incredible book. I love John Maxwell. And I'd love to meet him one day. He's awesome. Talent is Never Enough. Whew. Groundbreaking.
Is that like the same concept of like hard work beats talent, but when talent is that?
It is. It's based upon that. And there's so many instances in life where you'll encounter what is given to us every day, and that's talent. I see talent every single day. Every day. And talent doesn't make magic. That's not what it is. You've got to work on it, dissect it, practice it, rehearse it, use it. You cannot bury it. Or else you'll be common and average.
It's so interesting because so many of the people I talk to always talk about how like everyone around me is like so much more talented than I am. And even like some of like the people that I used to go to school with, so much more talented than me. I just kept working.
Well, I mean, I don't talk about. It's just I'll say this: the definition of talent is not just music or painting; it goes into everything.
True.
You have the talent of, you have a lot of them, but you have the talent of communication. Moments, communication. Some people have the talent of time. They can tell you what happened exactly a year ago today.
That's crazy.
A month ago today. Some people have talent of caring for animals and the talent of, wanting to explore. There's different talents, those highlights in life. And there's gifts that we're given. Doesn't mean that I can't have the gift you have. It just means that it was given to you for free. And that if I like that gift, I might have to work for it.
Yeah.
It's, the same thing with talent. It's not, someone else can have that. There is a technique for it, but some people get it for free. And that's just how life works. God gives us things, and some people have it easier in a certain area, but no one gets it all. It's spread out. Someone else has something, you get something, you develop it. And if you're good at developing your gifts, I think you'll find more.
When it comes to developing gifts, is it just about practicing, doing it, and trying? Is that what you mean by developing?
Yeah, failing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go out there and fail. You should fail.
Every day?
You should fail lots of times. Expect failing.
Yeah.
I expect to hear several no's every day and hopefully a yes.
Once a week.
Reach out. Can we do this? Can we do that? You get a no, and it's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't work. That didn't work. But you should expect it. If you're not hearing no, you're not trying.
If you're not hearing no, you're not trying. That's good.
Yeah,
I like
get
that.
up and go to an audition. You're a singer. You're responsible for singing songs. Go audition. Go put yourself out there. Make people hear you. Go get used to hearing no. And just go home. All right, next thing, another no. All you need is one yes sometimes. One yes.
Yeah. or just one
to
person
make a
to
living.
believe. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a real living. Sometimes you just need one yes to make a living doing what you love.
You've helped so many artists prepare for so many different performances. What was it like to help an artist prepare for the Super Bowl? Was that like the same thing, or was that different?
Oh my goodness. It is, but it's like it's the Olympics of preparing for anything. The craziest part of the Super Bowl is making sure everything's timed so perfectly.
Yeah.
Every single second costs and counts. I just never realized, I come from just singing, oh, I'll do it one more time, hold it out longer. It's like you have to measure every single thing and make it feel alive at the same time. So that's where a lot of the work comes in. It's a lot of work. And it's not easy in any sense. It's one of the toughest, most challenging things. I don't even know what to say about it. It's oof. I don't think I envy that.
A lot of the time as a singer, it is about like getting a reaction, right? You want people to feel something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make a choice that people may not love. I think Fergie is incredibly talented. I think she's done some incredible performances. A couple of them are going viral right now with her doing like when she's doing the front hand. Yeah. That's going viral right now. And then also there's we can obviously cut this if needed, but there's a whole thing with the national anthem that she did.
Right.
Why do you think people had such a strong reaction to those moments from Fergie?
I love Fergie so much. I love Fergie because like 100 years from now, you'll look back on the artists and you'll be like, boy, they were crazy, but they opened the door in this way. They started this, they did that. They started this movement like we do with people 100 years ago from now. So I think of artists like that. Like, what are we the legacy they're going to leave? And creative people and artists will always do crazy things to people. They'll always make a decision that's just something that's out of the ordinary. And when you're dealing with something extremely ordinary, like the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, people like it the way it is. They, it is what it is. They want it to be what it is. It's a tough thing for a creative to deal with. A lot of artists won't touch it. I know artists that will not touch it. Very good artists, they just won't. They've been like, nope, won't do it. It's tough. It's hard. It's Old English. And it takes an octave and a fifth to sing.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So it's, I never critique someone's creative choices. I only, I don't critique that. I can, but I don't care that much. It's just, okay, that worked, that didn't. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. But through history, you'll see the things that they've added to music here and there. Like, oh, they did that. That's a highlight. That's a highlight. It's a highlight. And, down through history, we'll see what people have added. And when someone's creativity has added joy to people's lives, that's ultimately an incredible thing.
True.
It's just what it is. It brings you joy. It makes you laugh, whatever. I hope people can laugh at me. I hope people can laugh at, not take everything so serious. It's just a song and it's just singing. I'm not trying to send someone to Mars. I'm not trying to find the cure for COVID. Neither was she. You just sing. And the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't sound great. It's fine. You move forward and you're just singing. And when you realize that's the worst thing that can happen to you as a singer, it's freeing and it's a blessing that I didn't try to send you to Mars and kill you on the way. It's just not, that's something that someone should worry about. I don't have that kind of job. The singers don't have it. We get to sing. So for good and for bad, we get to do something that is just singing. That's all it is. Don't take it so seriously. It's fun. It's funny. It's fun. I laugh at so many of my favorites. I have moments where I'll go back and watch Aretha do something silly and, this person do something. I'll go back with me and my friends, go back and watch all these crazy performances of stuff. Patti LaBelle forgetting the words it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing. I love those moments of life where you're just like, you see the real person come out and the crazy thing they wanted to do. It's so cool, and it just I absolutely love it. I love the crazy side of people.
Were there any risks singers have taken that you think changed music?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. To be specific, I think the advancement of what was note pitching technology, and it was didn't have a name at the time, but it was called the Cher effect. And it was yes, Believe.
Yeah.
It was a risk. Should Believe use note pitch technology, which eventually became auto tune?
Yeah.
And the idea of using that on a song was groundbreaking. I remember hearing it when I was young. I thought it sounded like Zapp and Roger. I Want to Be Your Man, which was the predecessor to auto-tune.
Interesting.
The vocoder, the voice box, and being able to play a note, and it sounds like a singer. It's the mix of a piano and a voice. So then, Stevie Wonder and others used it, and the band Zapp, Roger Troutman. And then you have the Cher effect. It used a computer to decide which pitch the note would be on. Then out of that, you have people like T-Pain starting as an artist, and that's their thing. Mm-hmm. I think that was a big risk. T-Pain is a fine singer without it.
He's an incredible singer.
But T-Pain is a singer.
He's incredible.
He's a really good singer I've seen. So T-Pain here, and to be an artist, he says, I'll try this. He chose, that became his thing. Yeah. And that's so brilliant to me, to say, okay, let's try this. But it changed a lot of things. You heard it after that, and it was a thing that, especially in hip hop, just completely blew up and took so many people, took so many people's career to another level. So I'd say that's a risk. That's a big one, using technology again, we talk about. And what Whitney was doing, bringing church runs into music, and Aretha, bringing a localized sound into the mainstream. It's a big thing. It's a big risk. Will people be able to, will they think it's too much? That's a big thing. You have a lot of risks that have happened through history, and it usually pays off. But that's a great question. I like that question. I'm gonna have to think about it some more.
Yeah. You started also releasing your own music.
Yes.
Do you have any plans coming up for any new songs coming?
Yeah, I'm going to make myself release music for the rest of my life, and I'm going to put myself on a schedule and start doing it. I'm not a big songwriter. I don't spend time writing songs. That's why I admire songwriters so much. But I want to push myself. I want to get in with friends and write. And I think of myself as a singer of good songs, and I want to be able to record.
Some of the best artists are the best singers. You have to, there's I think songwriters are incredible. I think what songwriters do is phenomenal, but oftentimes the song needs the right singer to tell the story.
I agree. And the job of a singer is to learn songs and sing them. So as a singer, I have to do that. That's my responsibility. And I'll be working on some music. And I've worked on some new Christmas music, and I have a Christmas album, but I'm working on new songs. And ultimately that will come out. That's going to be fun. It's coming up on 5 years next year.
Wow.
Of my Christmas project. Yeah.
That's huge.
It is. I can't believe it. That was one of the greatest moments of my life. So I want to keep doing that. I want to make a Disney album of my favorite Disney songs.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, my favorite piano R&B songs, my favorite theme songs. I'd love to do that. So I
love it.
I like themes, like categorizing music into ideas and, like full ideas of albums. Mm-hmm.
What is a piece of advice you have for any singers, creatives, anyone who wants to get into music or anything like that?
I have two quick answers to it. I don't like giving singers a lot of advice, because if you want to do it, you'll do it. And if you don't want to do it, someone else is in line in front of you.
That's good advice. If you want to do it, you'll do it.
I suppose so. There's a line of people who are waiting for a chance. And if you're not sure about it, go do something else in the meantime. You don't have to do it. No one has to do this. It's for the people who feel like it chose them, and it won't leave them alone. Music won't leave some people alone. If singing won't leave you alone, then do it. You have to get it out of you. Do it, please. I don't care how you sound. Do it. Do it. And if someone else feels something from it, then it's effective. Bingo, it works. That's the answer. So if you feel like doing it, do it. If you're not feeling like it, go try something else. See if you like another type of work or job. And there's also a lot of jobs in music. You don't have to be the singer. You can curate, you can produce, you can write, you can do so many things. You can do so many things just in music. That's why you go to the Grammys and it's so big. They have to have it at the Crypto Stadium, the Staples Center. It's so big. There's so many jobs just in music. So you don't have to be the star. And so if you feel a calling for it, do something to, get a job, see what's out there. But by all means, if you do not feel it, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't, let someone else have a chance.
Feeling it means you have to do it, right? It's like you have to get it out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And respecting it.
Yeah.
Don't get wasted before your performance. Don't, have some respect for yourself and for music.
True.
Because we will talk about you. You should be proud of what I'm not saying. That's what you should be proud of, what I'm not saying. That's a whole different podcast.
Maybe part 2. Who knows? No part 2 for that.
We'll do that from heaven. We're already safe up there.
Stevie, when I started this series, it was to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media, but it's also evolved into this kind of thing of to inspire every underdog to go for it. And for me personally, I never thought recording videos on my iPhone 6, recording my 2015 MacBook Pro for years would somehow end me up, have me end up here chatting with you years later. You're one of the first people to reach out to me, one of the first people to believe in me. So thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you, Daniel.
I appreciate you.
Thanks. Okay, I'll read it off air. Thank you. This is really special. You have the gift of knowledge and research. I was so impressed when I saw you and the research you would do on every video you made. That's one of my favorite things to do, and that's one of the most impressive things someone can do. Find out, research. It's not hidden. And you would research, and your passion for it, you're so good at it. It made me just laugh. I would remember seeing you for the first time. I was like, who is this guy? This little know-it-all, he's fun. And I just watched all your videos like, whoa, I was just blown away. I thought it was so cool. Yeah, that should be a class in school. That's the future of education, what you're doing. It's the future of education. It is.
That means the world.
Yeah. We don't have to sit in a boring class anymore and learn from a boring book. Get to it. Come on, let's talk to people, share.
100%. Mm-hmm. Is there any final things you want to promote? Anything social media specific, any music things or anything like that?
No, just, I love people to follow me. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Stevie Mackey.
Check out Stevie's music in the description. Check out Stevie across all platforms. It'll be in the description as well.
And I have great classes, studio.com classes for singing.
I took it.
Regular and advanced. That's right.
Actually,
I know.
I posted a stupid little video that was, I posted, I think I posted several, but one time, I forgot what song. Oh, yeah. It was #1 Victory Royale, and I said, I tagged you in it, and I said, I'm going to post this as my final project.
#1 Victory Royale, Fortnite, we about to get down. 10 kills on the board right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you responded, and you said, don't you dare. those were your words. I remember posting it on TikTok, and they responded, and then I didn't post it.
That's funny. I'm glad I have a bad memory.
And then I posted another video about you, and then you were like, oh, this is super awesome. So it's been such an honor getting to know you, and thank you for believing in me when I didn't even know if I believed in myself. So I appreciate you.
You're so welcome, Daniel. Awesome. This was absolutely fun.
Yes.
You have a great team. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for watching Behind the Wall. We'll see you on the next one.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Thank you.